What's going on, guys? This is another YouTube build that we got going on right now. We're talking about the best scorer from all dimensions. This is the guy that if you want to get buckets from wherever you are in whatever dimension you're trying to do, this is that guy. He's the most well-rounded scorer that I think you can make in the game. He's not the most well-rounded player. I already made a video about that. You want to see that? Go check out my other video. But this guy, I think, is the best well-rounded scorer. He's able to do everything on when it comes to the court. You know, whether it's dribble packages, dunk packages, shooting. He has all of that in his bag, and I think that it is really that best build for that. I made him a shooting guard. Obviously, it's your preference whether you want to go point guard or shooting guard. It doesn't make a big difference for this build, but going small forward, it would make a difference. Handedness doesn't matter either. I went 55 because that's how many points I'm trying to score every rec game. But let's get into it. I went 6'4" because 6'4" you get that quick chain. Uh, 6'4" you get mismatch expert. So I wanted to get 6'4" just for those specific skills. But why didn't I go shorter? I didn't go shorter because I still wanted to get a 92 driving dunk. And you're going to see that this guy does, in fact, have a 92 driving dunk. And it's pretty legit. I think it's really awesome the way that he balances all facets of the game when it comes to scoring. He's not a great passer, he's not a great defender, but when it comes to shooting three, shooting mid range, dunking it, he can do all of that. He's very well rounded in that regard. The weight and wingspan is specific for the attributes that I wanted. I was looking for a guy to get quick chain while also getting mismatch expert, while also getting a 92 driving dunk. And this is the only physicals that will allow you to get that in the game. If you go 6'5", you no longer get quick chain, you no longer get mismatch expert, but it's easier to get the 92 driving dunk. If you go 6'3", you can't get a wingspan high enough while still having as good of a 3-pointer. So this is why I went with this specific build, because at this height, you get the best 3-pointer while still maintaining that 92 driving dunk. If you go 6'3" and make your wingspan large enough to get the 92 driving dunk, your 3-pointer is going to be far worse. And you can check that out as well if you ever do try to recreate the build. So let's get into the attributes. So obviously, I mentioned that I want this build when I first made it to be a build that can score from everywhere on the court. This is the guy that you're like, hey, we need a bucket, go get a bucket. This is that guy, right? He has the 92 driving dunk and an 85 vertical. I want that specifically because the small contact dunks you get at 86 driving dunk and 85 vertical. The elite contact dunks you get at a 92 driving dunk with an 80 vertical. So the max of both are 92 and 85. So that's what I went with. I went with a 92 driving dunk and an 85 vertical, hoping to be able to experiment with small contact dunks, elite contact dunks, pro alley-oops, all that stuff. And I don't miss out on any of that. So I think that's really awesome about this build. So you do get all of that. Next, let's head over to the shooting. So obviously, you want this guy to be a scorer, right? A 76 mid-range is good enough to hit shots consistently when you're open from there. And a 91 three-pointer, I mean, you're going crazy, straight up, right? I mean, you're getting gold blinders. Now, catch and shoot is not what you're looking for this badge. You do get gold chef. No, it's not high enough to get the Hall of Fame chef, but it is good enough to get gold chef. Now, 91, the reason I specifically went with that is because of Hall of Fame Circus threes. Step backs are really cool, really fun, and somewhat consistent depending on where and how you do them. So I thought it was really nice to be able to experiment with this. Obviously, corner specialist and clutch shooter. Clutch shooter you can mess around with when it comes to rec, when it comes to park. But corner specialist, you're not going to run this on this build. You have too good of a 3-pointer to waste badge attributes on that. Deadeye, of course, that's something I'm going to run. Mismatch expert is one of the reasons why I went for the build. You get gold mismatch expert at this 3-point level. But I went specifically for mismatch expert in general just to have it. Again, like I said, it's something just like clutch shooters you can run specifically for a specific type of play style or for park or a way you want to play it. Limitless spot up. A limitless spot up. You get this on gold, not Hall of Fame, which is a little bit sad. But if you want to go shorter, you can. But again, I made it specifically for the reason of getting a 92 driving dunk. You get Hot Zone Hunter, Green Machine, Fade Ace, Rhythm Shooter. So, I mean, you're talking sniper, stop and pop. If you want to play a specific way, you can match your badges to play that way. You want a curry slide, dribble, 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 pull up. You can match your badge that way. You want to spot up. You want to be a little bit off ball sometimes. Play with a playmaking shot. You can do that still while being like a second scoring option. If you want to be the primary scoring option, you can get that stop and pop. You can work on that corner circus threes. You can be that primary option. However you want to play with whoever you're playing with. And again, the 75, I like to always have a 70 free throw. And whatever leftover attributes I have, I put it on free throw just to have a nice free throw. Okay, so you can, if you want to change anything about this build, you can change your pass accuracy. And I will show you that, but let's go with this is what I think is better. So I went with 70 just because I want the silver bullet passer, and I like the bronze needle threader. I mean, diamond, you don't really need it, but I like the silver bullet passer. That's what I really go for. And that's why I went specifically for 70 pass accuracy with this build, because I still want to be able to pass, right? If I'm getting double teamed or the defense is working hard to stop me from scoring, I'm hoping that I can hit the open guy, even though 70 is not great, right? If you talk to 2K Labs, you watch their videos, they will usually always say that you should have an 85 pass accuracy. But I did have to sacrifice that for what I wanted in terms of driving dunk and a high three-pointer. So I did sacrifice that there. Now, ball handle, I went 86 specifically to get gold ankle breakers, even though I don't think I'm going to use gold ankle breaker. But it is, again, your play style. I really wanted to get things like quick chain, so I was very happy to get that quick first step, of course. Stop and go, hyperdrive. I think those are very good badges. Space Creator is very good for a specific play style. So I'm glad that I can get all of those on gold. So I'm not that 99 play ball handle, 99 speed with the ball play shot that gets all those Hall of Fame, but I'm that second best tier to where I can get all of them gold and I can work off of that. 88 speed with the ball. I do think speed with the ball is super important, and I tried to match out badges here as well. I went with these specific attributes to try to maximize badge output for playmaking. Now the defense. Okay, this as well as passing are, in my opinion, the weaknesses of this build. Right, 70 passing is not an elite passer, but it is a usable. It is a good enough amount. It's a passable amount for passing. 85 perimeter defense. You are 6'4". You are 6'7" wingspan. You do have 6'7" wingspan. So you're not looking to clamp up the best player on the other team, but you can still play deep, right? You still got gold clamps, right? 85, you still get gold clamps. So you should be able to play defense. The badge points that I would probably go for here are I'm looking at gold clamps, probably bronze tireless, which takes you to 6, and then probably menace on silver takes you to 9. That's probably what I'm looking at. I might not run interceptor on bronze. Uh, I might turn menace down, put off ball pass and ankle breaker on, but that's what I'm looking at overall as what I would do for it. So I think it's a passable amount. So again, just like passing, its greatest weakness is not I can't do it. Its greatest weakness is passable, right? Passing and defense, perimeter defense, is its biggest weakness as a build, and it's still a passable amount. You can still use it. Now, I didn't max out speed. It just to fit the specific things I need. But acceleration, I think if you're trying to beat people off the dribble, you need acceleration. So I went maxed on that. And both are 92, so both are pretty good. And 85 vertical, I already mentioned, was for the driving dunk to get the small and elite contact dunk packages. 80 is what you need for an elite, but 85 is what you need for the small. And I wanted to experiment with that since I had the height. I wanted a player that could get literally all the offensive scoring animations in the game, and this guy can get all of them except the driving layup ones. A few of the ones like Kyrie's layup package and Curry's layup package are out of reach. But overall, I do think this is the best well-rounded build. You can still hit layups. You can yam on guys' heads. You can shoot threes like crazy. So guys are going to be playing you very confused because they're like, you're not supposed to be able to shoot that well. You're not supposed to be able to drive that well. And they'll be like, what am I supposed to do to defend you? And then if they are defending you well, after you break your guy off the dribble, you can still hit an open pass. And then they're going to try to abuse you defensively. Say, all right, let's make him work on defense. You still got good enough defense. We generally run a zone, so this would be a guy I say to play back in a zone, right? To play the corners in the zone. So you can still have good perimeter defense. You're still 6'4", 6'7", a wingspan with 175 pounds. You're still a little bit of a burly boy, so you can play defense and not have to worry too much about it. I went with limitless range and the clamps badge just so people don't think I can drive and dunk, but also people think to respect my three-pointer and also think that, oh, I can't abuse this guy defensively. I think if you have a defensive take, people will think you're kind of sweaty. All right, let's get into the badges. But yeah, this is a two-way three-point shot creator. This is, Pete Maravich is one of the greatest scorers in basketball history, not just necessarily NBA history. Donovan Mitchell, Bradley Beal, these are guys that kind of fit the play style of it. But yeah, a two-way shot, three-point shot creator is it sounds like a well balanced build name, and I think it is pretty well balanced as a build when it comes to offense and defense. All right, I'm just putting it at 99 so that we can show all the badges that we need. So now we can get into a few different things. So we can go with the basic Hall of Fame, Gold Hall of Fame, which a lot of people with 92 driving dunk have. I think usually for me, I run that here, or I'll run Slithery Finisher Gold to take that down. And what I'll do is I'll put Fearless Finisher and Lob City Finisher. Now, for this build specifically, you are 6'4", so if you don't go for Lob City, that's completely understandable. But the Fearless Finisher is good because it pops up when you're going for a contact dunk animation and you get taken out of the dunk animation and you have to go with a contact layup. That helps. That helps you there. On to the next. So I would say run Gold Circus. I'm sorry, Gold Blinders. I would try to run Gold Circus or Hall of Fame Circus. That's just me. But we'll come back to that. I would definitely run, Stop and Pop. I'd probably run Hot Zone Hunter there. Now, again, depending on who you're playing with, what's your matchup, you're gonna be running different things. But Sniper is a must. If you like to curry slide and dribble more, you might take off Stop and Pop and put on the Rhythm Shooter. Maybe you're playing Rec and you're playing off guard. Maybe you want Limitless Spot Up. Fade Ace you're not going to be using. Corner Specialist you're not going to be using. I think Chef is a little bit too hard to use. It's too far to use it. So, I don't really use that. Catch and shoot, I think your 3 pointer is good enough to where you really don't need it. But again, it depends on your play style. If you really like to off ball juke, off ball move, and you want that catch and shoot, you can get that catch and shoot. But, it depends on how you're playing. I think overall, this would be the four badges that I'm looking at and being like, yeah, you should probably have it. And volume shooter. If you want to go volume shooter because you're like, hey, I want to shoot a lot of shots and get shots up, that's something you can go for as well. For me, I think what I'd most likely do is run a little bit of this action you see here, probably going there and then that. That's probably what I do. And if I'm like, I'm gonna get a lot of catch and shoot opportunities, I might go for that. If I feel I'm not doing stop and pops a lot, if I don't see stop and pop up a lot, I'll probably go rhythm shooter and experiment with that. But generally speaking, this is probably what I'll usually go for when I'm running this build. Because again, I'm trying to get shots off. I'm trying to shoot jumpers. So that an important note for volume shooter is volume shooter activates on jump shots. Whether you make it or miss it, but it has to be a jump shot. Whether a step back, a normal catch and shoot, a moving jump shot, a leaner, whatever it is, it has to be a jump shot. It does not count towards volume shooter if the shot you took was a layup or dunk. Floaters, I think, are considered layups. So if it's a layup or dunk, it does not affect volume shooter. It has to be a jump shot. And if you do shoot a lot of jump shots, volume shooter will accrue over the course of a game. So if you're looking at something like Park, maybe you're looking for Green Machine, right? To get a quick shot, keep going. Or maybe you like Lucky 7 or Clutch Shooter. You find that those to be better for your Park experience. But I think if you're running Rec, Volume Shooter, I think, is a better badge overall. All right, let's get into playmaking now. So I think, the musts of playmaking, right? The musts of being a guy, having the ball in your hand, I think those three are the musts. I like to have glue hands on Elise Bronze just for the ability to catch it, shoot it quicker, a little bit better in that regard. But then again, now it comes down to play style. I like to have bailout. I do bailout, so I like to have it on. I like stop and go because I like to, create off the dribble a little bit and then go. Um, but at the same time, if I feel like I'm trying to be more shifty, maybe I go quick chain and handles for days. But it does depend on your play style. You can still keep it on if you're like trying to, quick chain, go to a certain place, stop, and then start running again. And then, and you could be like, yo, I'm not trying to pass, bro. This ain't for that now. But, bullet passer I think is a pretty solid build. But if you want to take it off, you can. And then you can look at things like, okay, let me see if I can take that one off, and I can put it on ankle breaker. You play with it, you get it to what you need to get it on to do what you need to do. I want specifically this because I wanted a quick chain just to help speed up those dribble moves and get the defense on their toes and not know which direction I'm going, how I'm going to be there. And maybe you turn down handles for days and you say, okay, I'll turn down handles for days and see if I can get oops, gold and see if that's better for me, right? But again, it comes down to your preference. It comes down to how you play, your play style, what you're looking to get out of the build at the moment. I think for me personally, I'd experiment with something around like this because I know that I do have a passing mentality. I like to throw lobs, so I like maybe I'll go here. Or if I'm saying, hey, you know what? I'm trying to score. I'm not looking to pass. I might take off these ones and just straight up go ankle breaker and say, yo, guys, you better just get the rebound because I ain't passing the ball. Okay, when it comes to defense, I mentioned it before. I think you're pretty limited in what you want to do because of how low the defense, how many few defensive badges you have. But what I would go is, I think this is a must for whatever you're trying to do. Tireless defender and clamps as high as you can get it. But then from there, it's like, okay, am I playing a lot of screen action? I go pick dodger. But for us, the way we play rec, we run the zone. So maybe I go menace, or I'd run off ball pest, maybe silver, or I'd maybe run it like that, something like this. This is probably what I'd mostly run because usually I play rec, and I hope to be playing the back of the rec. And I think, guys, that is it for this build. I do think this build is the best all around scoring build that doesn't have any true weaknesses for its position, right? So, of course, it can't rebound, but it doesn't have weaknesses for its position. It's meant to be either your primary ball handler or your secondary ball handler, right? So, either your point guard or shooting guard, your on guard or your off guard. And its job is not to let the other team score in the zone, while also not to let them score on your head, while also being able to score from 92 dunk, 91 three, 86 ball handle, 88 speed with ball, 92 speed and acceleration. Like you are 6'4", so you get quick chain, you get all those dribble packages, you get all those dunk packages, you can shoot like crazy. This build is meant to be an all-around scoring build, and I think it achieves that pretty well, right? If I could add anything to it, I would add more layup just to get those layup animations and truly say that this build can do literally everything offensively. There's no animation that exists that this build cannot get. But because I did want perimeter defense, I did not go for that 80 or 85 driving layup. But if you did want to sacrifice your driving layup and go for that, that is perfectly reasonable as well. I'm going to show you guys one thing real quick just to show you what I'm talking about when it comes to this. A small variation here that you can do. If you're like, hey, you know, I'm replacing the play shot. I want to be the replacement for the play shot. This is going to be the new wave on the game, right? No more play shots. All about this. Then what you can do is you can turn that down. Maybe put that 63. Let's see. I'm trying to experiment a little bit. And how high can you get that? You can get that to 92. That's pretty crazy. But 85 gets you all those animations. I'd say there. And then you put that up. 74 is not great. But yeah, so I mean, you can experiment with stuff, and even, if you truly like, I just want to be a scorer and play defense, you can really do this. Like, so if you want to keep that up there, you can really do this, get your block up, get your steal up a little bit, get pickpocket. So now you're looking at, okay, I can play deep. Why go 87? Because of 4. If you take it down to 85 or even 86, you're clamp. So at 86, I'm sorry, at 85, you get gold clamps, but at 87, clamps goes down 1 point. And 64, you don't get silver intimidator, but at least you can get the bronze intimidator, and you have pretty good block to get pogo stick, which I don't think you really need. 57, so maybe you go 57 instead, and maybe you try to experiment. Yep, I get that silver interceptor, but that's a different option. Just a few different things that you could try to do to maximize your build, and ooh, you can go that direction as well. I didn't even notice that. You can get that really high if you sacrifice a lot there. I think, there's things you can do with this build that are available to you, and whatever you feel is most comfortable for it, go for it. Legit. 63 perimeter defense, I'm telling you right now, is you're going to get cooked. You're going to get cooked. If you're not playing in a zone, even if you are playing the zone, you're going to get cooked. Legitimately. So, I do go for the at least silver clamps, but I mean, like, it's up to you how you want to play the game. What you think your best play style is. I went with the 85 clamps to get gold clamps. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for, I think, the video. Again, you can change your pass accuracy or defense to switch up the build a little bit and see what else you want to get. If you want to go more defensive, you can take off that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the video, and catch you guys next time. I appreciate it. Thank you. And let me know in the comment section. What do you think about the build? Do you think the build is good at what it does? Do you think the build should change a certain way? What do you think I should look at when it comes to this build? Let me know. I honestly am genuinely curious and not just looking for comment section buzz. I'm honestly curious what you guys think, how I can improve this build and what would make it better. All right. Thank you. See you guys later. Bye.